this computer. All right, so this is the official beginning after a small technical glitch of the how to create more growth and freedom in your business in 2022 webinar. And the idea here is for those of you who are already working over 50 to 60 hours a week, we need that to come to a stop. So normally I would say in chat, but in Q&A, this is really going to be kind of annoying, but we'll just bear with us so we don't have the chat working properly. But if you would be kind enough to let me know, hey, do you work more than 40 hours in your week? That would be great. I see you, but I don't see me as a participant. Is this okay? Yeah, and I believe it is. As long as you guys can see the screen and hear my voice. So can somebody put that in the Q&A? Just put, hey, we can see you and hear you. That would be great. Done. And this is going to be a new experience for me because normally I don't have to clear all the chats like this. So, okay, great. So we can see it. So let's dive into it then. So here is what I would like you guys to learn today. Number one, or this is what we're going to be covering today, why most small businesses will remain small and barely profitable. The secret that 7 to 8 figure business owners know that if you're not at that level, that you don't know. How to create free time out of thin air. And yes, that actually is a thing. You'll see. How to eliminate chaos and create predictability in your business, which I'm sure everybody would like to have. And then how to automate your prospecting. And finally, the silver bullet to building a 7 to 8 figure business. I can see you, but your volume is very low. Is that the case of people? Is my volume low, or is that just one person that's telling me that? Okay, sorry, I'm with the chat. I don't have to clear all these things out, so we're going to have a slightly bizarre experience as I'm paying close attention. Volume is fine. Thank you very much. All right, next slide. So my name's Trent. I own an agency and I own a SaaS, although I don't think I'll own the agency for too much longer because it's very, very close to being sold. And I've been creating business improvement content for about 10 years now on YouTube and on my personal website, Bread Ideas. I hosted a podcast for years. I've spoken at many events. I'm well known as the SOP guy if you are in the Amazon hybrid agency space. If you're not, you may not have heard of me. And we've helped just over 1,000 agency owners to improve the scalability of their businesses. I also got written up in James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, in chapter 16. So if you are so inclined, you can Google the paperclip strategy and you'll see his article about me. And that was my very, very first business system, simple as it was, that I built when I was 23 years old. And essentially, I needed to force myself to make 120 cold calls every single day, which yielded tremendous results for me. So I had 2 baby food jars. One of them had 120 paper clips in it. And every time I dialed the phone, I just moved a paper clip from one jar to the other. And that way I had a system to ensure that I did that level of prospecting every single day before I did anything else in my business. And maybe not surprisingly, but I was the #1 rookie in my training class of 35 or 40 with the firm that I was with. I was the youngest person this was one of the major investment banks in Canada. I was a stockbroker. I was the youngest person that they'd ever hired in the history of the company. And I was the leading rookie. And even though I came in, I had no contacts, no Rolodex, nothing. I just brute forced my way to the front of the pack. In my business career, I've won some awards. I've been on the Inc. 5000 a couple of times, number 254 and number 622 in Canada, where I'm originally from. Ranked on the Profit 100 a couple of times, and also in Vancouver in the top 40 under 40 back in 2007. So yes, I'm aging myself a little bit. So hopefully this is establishing some credibility here if you're not familiar with me. And the most important thing, why do I do all of this? It's my family. This is my daughter here, Kiana. She's 8 and is the light of my life. and we love to go camping. This is my wife, Liz, and all these shots, and this is some of our friends. We're actually going camping. This is our fifth wheel here. We're going camping this weekend in a place called Cascade, Idaho. This is my big why. This is why I make the choices in my life about the types of businesses that I'm going to be involved with, and why I'm super focused on not being that guy that needs to work 50 to 60 hours a week, because she's only going to be 8 years old once. She's only going to be 9 once. And then she's going to be a teenager. And if I don't get to put the quality time in now, I don't even know how that's going to turn out, but not very well. So I would love to learn a little bit more about you guys. So let me just get this configured here one quick second on another screen. And then, why did that do that? So if you would, there we go. It should work. If you guys, and I'll put the link for this in, I was going to say I'll put it in chat. I think you guys will be able to see the chat. I'm not sure. So if you're doing this on your phone, obviously, then you can't scan this with your phone. But if you're watching this on a computer screen, I'm going to do this 3 times today, just 3 questions. That's it. The feedback is very, very helpful for me, because I always need to know kind of who's here and what size businesses are you running and so forth. I do a lot of webinars. I like to see who is attracted to what kinds of webinars. So we have just a few respondents so far. So again, this is my fee for being here. I'm asking you to pick up your phone right now, scan it, and answer this question for me. And I will have a little sip of water while that's happening. It's all anonymous information. I'm not asking for names or email addresses or anything like that. All right, so as you can see on your phone, if you have done this, by far the greatest pain or challenge in your businesses, 67% of the 9 of you, I don't understand, guys, there's 25 here. Why are there only 9 of you who are taking the time to participate in this event? 67% are saying you're not making enough money. Now that's dropped to 60% because we got one more. 10% are working too many hours, 20% are constantly putting out fires, and 10% delegating work to their team is their greatest problem. So by far not making enough money, and that is generally the byproduct of either a flawed business model, which we'll talk about to a degree today, or simply just not enough sales pipeline, which we will definitely be talking about today. All right, so thank you for doing that. So I'm going to close that poll. So part 1 today is what I call the trap. Why are so many entrepreneurs running a tiny little business? And as you can see here, I'm a very talented artist. And this is what I call the entrepreneur control trap. So you decide, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. And then you start your business, which is this little part over here. And then I'll see if I can increase my volume a little bit for anyone who's saying it's not loud enough. And then you use your blood, sweat, and tears to get a few clients if you're in a professional services business, which is a very common way for people to start their first business, much more common than a product business. And then you get to the point where you smash into this brick wall where you're maxed out. And so now, how many of you feel like that is you? If it is, I would love to say put me in chat, but unfortunately the chat's not working for whatever reason. So if you could put in the Q&A that you think that is you, that would be helpful. In other words, you've got to the point where the hardest part about your business is literally just keeping up with all the client work. You have no time to look for new clients. You have no time to work on your business. You have no time to build marketing campaigns or better funnels because you've got a handful of clients and they are absolutely keeping you busy. So somebody says in the meeting controls, click chat towards the bottom of the in meeting chat window, click more. Okay. Attendees can chat with everyone. Oh, I think I just turned chat on. Oh, Can somebody try chat, please? Panelists. Yay! Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Their young last name. We now have chat working. Oh my God. So much better. So much better. Thank you for that great tip. All right. So let me just clean up that. Okay. So this is the control trap. This is a very real thing for many, many entrepreneurs. Again, so put in chat if you feel that you have fallen into, either are currently in, or have at some point in the past fallen into the control trap. So how do you get out of the control trap would be the next logical question. Well, that starts up here. And so why is Richard Branson, why is he a billionaire? Was it luck? Probably not. I would say to you that it is because of the way Richard Branson's mind works, his mindset. And this applies to all of us. If you want to become $1 million or a $10 million or $100 million CEO or whatever level it is that you aspire to, you need to think and act and walk and talk like that person. So this dude here on the left is what is your metaphorical picture for the solo entrepreneur. And then there's this other guy that literally owns, I think it's hundreds of different businesses. There's obviously a huge difference in their mindset. So let me give you some examples. And these are not all inclusive. These are just some. Are you still managing your own inbox? Do you think Richard Branson manages his inbox? No. Are you still the one doing the prospecting for clients? And you might be involved in some portion of the sales process. I'm not saying you shouldn't be involved in this portion of the sales process, but prospecting is the mundane, repetitive activity that sort of precedes sales. If you're doing all the prospecting yourself, maybe that's a problem. Are you still managing all your social media accounts? Are you managing your client projects? Are you handling bookkeeping? Are you writing and sending proposals? Are you working on client deliverables? In my agency that I started back in 2016 that I won the Inc. 5000 awards for, I didn't do any of this stuff. I did one thing. I met with prospective clients, I pitched them, and I closed. That was it. My week, every week, was just stacks of meetings of pitch, close, pitch, close, pitch, close, over and over again. Everything else was delegated to either virtual assistants, like prospecting was entirely handled by virtual assistants, or other people on my team. So my question for you is, are you making decisions like a 7 to 8, if you're not at 7 to 8 figures? Are you making decisions like a 7 to 8 figure CEO? I would love it if, now that we have chat working, especially if you would put a yes or a no in chat. Just two of you? Oh, there we go. A few more. So I don't see any yeses so far. So guys, you're in the right place. Okay. Some of you might be thinking, I object, Trent. These are all important activities. I got to do these activities. Well, I don't agree. Yes, they are important activities. But my point is this, is that you shouldn't be the one doing them. And I'm going to show you in our session today how easy it can be to delegate these tasks to other people and get them done every bit as effectively as if you were doing them yourself. Anne says, yes, but the delegates aren't following through. So Anne, either you have a systems problem, which is your fault, or you hired the wrong people, which is also your fault. So it can be a people problem or it can be a process problem, but ultimately it's going to be your responsibility because you're the one that owns the business. So if you don't feel you have enough time to do the work you have, put a no time in chat. And as Anne says, why why I am going to join your group. Yes, absolutely. I'm happy to have you. So my question here is, again, let me say it again. If you feel you don't have enough time to do your work, put a no time in chat. Yeah, so it's, we've got 2 so far. And guys, just so you know, I'm going to be asking you over and over and over to reply in chat. You know why? Because I'm sitting staring at myself on my screen. It's unlike not when I'm on stage, I can see faces. I can see how people are reacting to what I'm talking about. I know when to speed up. I know when to slow down. But here, I'm just staring at a blank computer screen. Well, it's not blank. It's got what you see on it. So I'm constantly asking for feedback in chat because I need to know that you're engaged and that you're with me. And I welcome feedback in real time. All right. So let's talk about part 3, time blocking. And this is my promise to you on how to create free time out of thin air. This is how, so here's how most people organize their calendar. You've got Calendly or whatever app you're set, and you've said, my availability is Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So in other words, you've said to the world, you can come and poop in my calendar anytime you want to. Now, I don't think that's a very good idea. And the reason is, as you can see in this screenshot here, is you end up with stuff all over the place. And so when you end up with appointments all over the place, you've essentially handed control of your schedule, your time, your productivity to all of those people that are, I'm metaphorically saying, pooping in your calendar. They're coming into your calendar. And the reason that that's not a good idea is it doesn't allow you to block time for projects. And it also leaves you with these little gaps of time, like, you know, a half hour here and an hour and a half here and a few minutes here and a few minutes there. And I don't know about you guys, but if I'm going to really sink my teeth into a project, a business improvement project, in other words, building an asset, that might be building a webinar or maybe a new sales page or a funnel or an ad campaign or anything that's going to drive revenue, I need big blocks of time to be able to do that. And here's how I do it. I only make myself available for appointments from, it's actually, I've changed it to 5 o'clock. So the screenshot's a little out of date, but from 1 to 5 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That's it. And that means that all day Monday, every morning, and all day Friday are mine. And they're never going to be interrupted by someone else dropping into my calendar and throwing a wrench in my ability to be productive with my big projects. Who thinks this is a great idea? Put it in chat if you would, please. And if you don't like it, put why you don't like it. So super easy to do. Go into your Calendly or whatever app after this webinar and make those changes. And right away, I promise you, you're going to be more productive and you're going to feel less like you're chasing the 8 ball. All right. So this is my second of 3 surveys that I'm doing. So again, if you would hold your phone up or I get the link to share it again, just in case you're watching it on your phone and then you can't take a picture of your phone. Either or, there's the link in chat for you there. And so the question here is, what is your business type? I'm very interested in who is here today, what types of business you run. Okay, so we've got 10 responses so far. See if we can get a couple more. Don't be shy. All right, we have 11 responses in. Again, I got to be honest, guys, it blows my mind that you will come to a webinar and I ask you to hold your phone up and you won't do it. I'm not charging you money to be here. I don't think it's too great of an ask to get you to snap a pic with your phone and push your finger on the screen. So B2B consulting is 42% of the business types that are here. Digital marketing agency is 8%. Wow, that's very different than normal. Normally digital marketing is much higher. So to those of you who did do this, thank you very much. I'm going to close the poll now and we will go on. So now I want to talk about part 4, and that's eliminating chaos. And that's how to leverage systems to create calm in your business. I'm pretty sure everybody would like to have more calm in their business. So we've got this quadrant, and there's 3 bad places and 1 good place. What I'd like you to do is look at the screen, and then in chat, tell me, are you in slow town, chaos town, crazy town, or smart town? So slow town, everything is manual, you're chasing paper, you're losing information. Crazy town, you got every software tool under the sun, but it's a little out of control. You're just kind of a tools junkie. And so you're not really getting the benefit from all of those pieces of software. Chaos town is everything's just all over the place. No consistency, the same mistakes getting made over and over, high levels of stress, low levels of profit. Actually, all 3 of these set quadrants probably have low levels of profit. And then smart town. Place runs itself. You don't have high turnover in your employees, and you have better than industry average profit margins. So we have crazy town, crazy town, crazy town, chaos town heading to smart town, change, chaos town, slow town, combo of slow and crazy. So a lot of crazy town. So you guys like your tools. Okay, cool. Obviously, we all want to be in smart town, and ultimately you want to be in performance town. And performance town is when you are basically what I was doing with my agency for the last 5 years. All I do is look at KPIs. I have no operational role, no day-to-day responsibilities. I wasn't involved in closing the big accounts. I wasn't involved in anything other than saying, looking at this dashboard of KPIs, and if one of those KPIs was below acceptable levels, I would then message the employee on my team and say, yo, Mitch, what's up with this? Why is our response rate lower? Or why didn't we send enough prospecting emails? Or why did our revenue fall? Or whatever the KPI was that I was looking at. And I will tell you, that's a much nicer way to be able to run a business, because that business for the last 5 years pretty much paid for my life and my wife's life, even though we never worked there. Owning a business is way more fun than operating a business. So my challenge to you guys and the encouragement I give you is think about being more of an owner than an operator. Richard Branson is an owner. Warren Buffett is an owner. Name your business icon. They're owners more than they are operators. And the only thing standing between you becoming an owner and less of an operator is 1, the decision that that's what you want. And 2, being involved in a business that has a business model that's conducive to that. And then 3, putting in place the systems and the processes combined with the people that you need to transition to the upper right smart town and performance town. Okay, so Anne says, I've been trying to do smart town, don't have the people who get it. Why I had to fire somebody yesterday. So that obviously I can't do any one-on-one consulting with Anne here while we're doing a webinar, but thank you very much for the feedback. What I will say is that I have a mentor in life who years ago, he said to me, and he's a very wealthy, successful businessman, and he said, Trent, this is how you need to think about your life. This phrase, no matter what happens, I am responsible. And when you say that and when you believe it, means you can never be a victim of anybody or anything. And some people who they may want to object to that, but if you're really, really honest with yourself and you're having a people problem, well, you hired them, you created the culture, you did or didn't provide them with the systems and the tools they needed to do their job. So if they're not meeting your expectations, is it really their fault? In some cases, maybe. In many cases, I would say it's more of a boss problem than an employee problem. There are exceptions, obviously. So remember the old control trap? So the only way to get out of this control trap is to make this mindset shift to what I call the SDA mindset, which is a term that I coined, and it stands for systems. So you got to have documentation, systems, which then allow you to delegate, which is the D, more work to your team, so that then you can kind of like come up for air and think about, well, what are some ways that I can automate more of my business? And that becomes your key to freedom, as it were. When you do that, your profits are going to go up, your freedom's going to go up, and your business is just going to become a whole lot more valuable because it won't be dependent upon you every single day. So let's talk a little bit about systems. We could do a long webinar on systems, but there's kind of two foundational systems that every business needs. So the first one is the strategic objective. Some people call this the big, hairy, audacious goal. Some people call it the vivid vision. Some people call it the purpose. In our world, we call it the vivid vision. I got this out of a book that I'd read called Work the System, I think was the book. Anyway, it's a one-page document that describes what it is that you are trying to build and why. And the reason that that's so important to have in writing is because, first of all, anyone that ever would potentially work for you can't read your mind. And it's not generally the type of thing that you're maybe necessarily talking about every single day. But in the hiring and recruiting process, this is a super important document because it's going to help people to understand, like, what is this thing that I might join? And so if you don't have one of those, I would encourage that you get one, that you write one. It'll take you only an hour or two, or maybe 3. Maybe it'll take you half a day, but it won't take you any longer than that. And then that you share it and you look at it regularly. And then we have what I call the guardrails of your business. They're the rules. You know, in sports, they have rules. If you break the rules, you run afoul. So these are called your operating principles. And I think for us, we have 25 or 26 of them. This is a document. It's a Google Doc. And these are like 1 to 2 sentence rules that are just how our guidelines, our guardrails for how we run our business. And each of us on the management team looks at those every single week before the management team meeting, a quick scan to say, was there any violations? As an example of one of our rules, I don't have the exact rule memorized, but it's basically we have all these templates in our marketplace. And the rule was we will keep our most popular templates regularly updated. Because obviously not every template's going to be popular. Not every template's going to get downloads. And the ones that aren't getting a lot of downloads, why would we put a lot of cycles into keeping them up to date? Whereas the ones that are getting the most downloads, it would be very important for us to be reviewing those regularly. And so I said on our management team meeting, I said, hey, this is one of our principles, but do we have a process for this? Like, it's all great that we wrote it on this piece of paper, but where's the process that's actually going to make this happen? And we realized that we were deficient in that area. So guess what? It's getting fixed. No rules, no realization, nothing getting fixed. Then I have something in my business which is going to have a negative impact on the business. So our operating principles, it's what prevented that from happening. And then finally, so you're going to have one strategic objective, which is about a page, one set of operating principles, which might be a page or 2. And then you're going to have an endless number of these things. Your standard operating procedures, you can call them checklists, call them workflows, call them process documents, sets of instructions, whatever you like. This is a screenshot of what an SOP looks like in Flowster. And we have, I don't even know how many of these things, like I would never count them because there's too many. And we're always creating more because this is what our team relies on to get the work done every day and every week. This is what I rely on. My daily routine is an SOP. My sales system is a variety of SOPs. For the webinar like this, I have an SOP every time I run a webinar. We have SOPs for absolutely everything. Here is the biggest reason why most small businesses and I'm talking to you guys because I'm pretty sure you're all small business owners. It's Here's why you're going to stay small and stay broke, because you will not invest the time into creating SOPs. It is exceedingly common in small businesses. You're so busy chopping down the tree that you don't have any time to sharpen the axe. I know you guys have all heard that before. And so the biggest object, and I've talked to, because I'm constantly talking to our customers on Messenger and chat and text. Maybe some of you here have done that with me, because I'm always wanting to understand like what's going on in here. And the biggest reason why people don't make these things is they say, I don't have any time, or I don't know how. So here in Flowster, we have this marketplace. If you have a Flowster account, it's got hundreds and hundreds of pre-made templates for all sorts of things to do with digital marketing. All of them are customizable. That means you don't have to create them from scratch. Now, what if you can't find one in the template marketplace that meets the thing that you need? Well, that's what we created the Flowster Capture extension for. It's a free Chrome extension. And by the way, you can get to the tap into the marketplace just by signing up for a free Flowster account. You don't even need a paid Flowster account. So I know you guys can all afford free. The Capture extension is really cool. If you've used Loom, you hit record and then you go do whatever the thing is that you want to create a process for, and then you save it and you give it to your VA. Well, that's not the best user experience for an employee, because let's say your Loom video is 3 or 4 minutes long. Can you, if you can watch a 3 or 4 minute video and remember every last detail, I'd love it if you put in chat and say, yeah, I can do that. I'm going to guess nobody's going to put that in chat. I can't do that. So what does that mean? That means I have to hit play, pause, play, pause, play, pause, play, pause. So that's part of the problem. It's not a very good user experience to be given a video for a process that involves multiple steps. Whereas, say, a checklist would be obviously much more intuitive. Do step 1, put a tick in the box. Do step 2, put a tick in the box, etc. But here's the other bigger problem. As your business expands and you become a fan of documenting things, you're going to have more and more and more of these Loom videos. And they're all constantly going out of date because interfaces on the software tools change. Like, stuff is always changing. So updating your library of videos over time becomes a huge burden. Because as you might imagine, let's say you want to change just one screenshot, you got to reshoot the whole Loom video, or you have to edit it and recompile it. Like, blah, takes forever. One of the beauties of Flowster is if the screenshot goes out of date, you can literally just swap out the screenshot in literally 20 seconds. Now, the Capture extension, here's how it works differently than Loom. It does not make a video. We have a demo on our website called a 3-minute demo. You can watch this afterwards. But it basically, you hit Capture, and then you go and make those clicks with your mouse of where you want, the click to show the process that you're trying to document. And at the end of the capture, it's basically taken cropped screenshots of everything that you did and then highlighted where you put your mouse. And even if you don't have a Flowster account, just in your Flowster Capture account, which is separate from a Flowster account, you're going to see all these screenshots. Then if you happen to have a Flowster account, you can literally copy and paste those right into Flowster. It's the coolest thing ever. It saves a massive amount of time. And if you really and truly want to get unstuck and you want to build a 7-figure business, I'm going way down a rabbit hole here, sorry for that, but this is such an important point. If you don't start creating processes, you'll never get there. And I will leave you with that. So there's too much for me to teach you today. But I do have on creating SOPs and this stuff, but I have a special gift for you guys because you've been here just this far. So we have this masterclass that we sell for $250. And in this masterclass, there's a whole bunch of videos and SOPs and stuff on teaching you how to do the things that I've spent the last maybe 10 or 15 minutes talking about. I'm very happy to give this to you for free. All you need to do is go to flowster.app/DM Trent, and that'll open up a messenger dialog. and we'll chat, and I'll give you the link for this. No strings attached. There's no bait and switch here. You can just have it for free. Now is by the way, who thinks that's a good deal? Hopefully. I'll leave that there for a second while I have a sip of water. You're welcome. All right, this is my final link. So I'm going to paste it back into chat. By the way, while you're doing this, my second question is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how valuable has this, and be honest, because I can take criticism, how valuable has the webinar been so far? Scale of 1 to 10. If you could put that in chat, I would appreciate it. The reason that type of feedback is so important for me is if I get a bunch of low scores, I know that I need to redo this portion of the webinar or add some stuff or take some stuff out or whatever. Wow, cool. Super helpful. 10, 9.5. Damn, 9.5. 9, 9. Okay. I guess maybe the first part of the webinar doesn't need any tweaks. Cool. Normally I get at least some 8s and 7s. The last webinar I did, the woman, she meant to type in 10, but I guess she didn't hit the 1 hard enough and she just hit 0. And I looked at it and I guess the expression on my face, yeah, it was Anne. I guess the expression on my face, I was like, what the fuck? And somebody was just, they commented in chat, they said, oh my God, Trent, you should have seen the look on your face. Absolutely hilarious. All right, so size of your team, 31%, 36% is just me, and 57, and I can see my iWatch is blowing up right now because you guys are chatting me, so that's cool. I'll respond to you probably at some point later today. 2 to 5 is 60%. Excellent. All right, so let's close that poll. And okay, let me just quickly look and make sure I'm not falling behind on chat. Trent, this is not the first webinar I've attended from you. It's always value. Thank you very much. I almost did it again for the prank. That would have been awesome. All right, so part 5, prospecting system. And this is something that I've been having a ton of success with lately. I've completely automated my prospecting. So let me give you the use case. My use case is that I want to start. So we get a lot of inbound traffic and leads and from YouTube and you guys. We get lots of you coming to our site. We have tens of thousands of people on our email list. We get 20 or 30 more every single day. So that portion of lead generation is working pretty well. And we spend no money on ads to do this at all. It's all organic. But the challenge with that is that we're not growing as fast as we want to. So we're always looking for, like, every company's not growing as fast as they want to. So we're looking for, like, how can we attract bigger customers who have larger average contract values? And those types of folks, like what I call mid-market, like agencies that are 10 to 50 people, they're not coming in. I mean, a few of them are, but not as many as the smaller businesses like you folks. And so I thought, well, I want to start having conversations with COOs of mid-market agencies, because I want to find out from them what I need to do to make our software more appealing to that segment. So I'm going to explain to you. And actually, I shot a video of this yesterday. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, yesterday, and it'll be on the YouTube channel very soon. So there's a couple of different ways to prospect. I'm going to go through the methods, and then I'm going to show you which one that I'm currently using. So if you've been on webinars before, you probably know there's this guy by the name of Bradley Benner, who is a very good customer of ours, and he owns a local SEO agency, and then he coaches other people on how to succeed at local SEO. So his prospecting system is brilliant. He set up this Tree Care HQ industry directory site. In his first email, goes out to his prospects, who are these guys here, who are in trees most of the day. Hey man, I would just like to confirm your company's information in our directory. Now, as you might imagine, he gets a lot of positive replies to that, because these tree service guys, contractors, they want to be in a directory because they perceive correctly that that would give their firm more exposure, and everybody wants more exposure. So this is a really easy way to start off the conversation. The challenge with this is you got to build the directory site. And we have actually a product called the Automated Prospecting System that we marketed on a webinar, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago. And for, if you want it, you can message me about it. For $500, you get all the SOPs to do all of this stuff. So if this appeals to you, you can reach out and I can hook you up with that. So yeah, we're just reaching out to confirm your company details. The beauty of this is the emails can be fully automated because there's not really any personalization needed. And then method number 2, which is what I'm doing right now to reach out to COOs of mid-market agencies, is LinkedIn automation. So, and this screenshot now is maybe a week or two old because there's more, but essentially you can see here that I'm using this tool, and we're going to be actually I've got some beta customers already. We're going to be white labeling. This is a friend of mine's tool that does this. And so if you are interested in trying this tool, again, message me. I can explain to you what it costs. I mean, I can tell you right now, it's $79 a month, and it does all LinkedIn automation, everything for you. It's great. So here's what it's doing for me. I'm able to target. So I've got the time of this screenshot, 3 different campaigns running. One of them, outreach to COOs of digital marketing agencies. This one was outreach to anyone who had business process consultant in their job title. And this one was just business consultants in their job title. I was curious to talk to these folks to see whether or not they might become good resellers for us. So you can see here, my reply rate is around 50% for these folks, for obvious reasons. I pitched this in my messages as, hey, I have this tool that you might be able to make more money with. And then my reply rate here is lower at 17%. Now I've done a lot more responses since this screenshot was taken, but suffice to say, this combined with one other really cool trick, and if I don't have a slide for it, I'll just explain it to you, is working incredibly well for getting me meetings with these COOs. And it's 100% automated. So and I don't have a slide for it. So here's the other thing that I do. I'm going to explain this quickly, and I don't want to spend too much time going down this rabbit hole because we'll run out of time. I essentially bribe them with a gift card to take a meeting with me. And the gift card is typically an Amazon gift card. It could be anywhere from $105 to $225. And the reason for this is very, very simple. If you think about people who run ad campaigns to get meetings, they're spending $1,000 a week on Facebook. And if they got 5 meetings a week, essentially they're paying Facebook $200 for every meeting that they get. But then you got to fiddle with like landing pages and ad campaigns and ad copy and creative and all this other stuff. And one of my advisors said to me, why don't you just give the money to the guy you want to meet with? And then all you gotta do is send him an email and say, hey, I'm doing some research. I'd really love to get your feedback. And I'll give you it's a 29-minute call. And I give you and if it's a COO, I tell them I'll give them a $225 gift card. Not surprisingly, they respond fairly fairly favorably. Now, I don't immediately take the meeting. I then qualify them, just like you would in any sales conversation. I ask them a couple 3 key questions, and I go into all of this in the YouTube video that's going to get published. So I don't need to go too far down this rabbit hole, but it's a really great method of getting people to meet with you. But you need to make sure that when you take the meeting, that you've got a compelling sales pitch, which is sort of baked into your whole call. In my case, a part of my call is demonstrating Flowster software, and we have a really great product and people really like it, and we have really low churn with our customers. So I'm betting that I get enough people who might not otherwise take a meeting with me, who come and they take the meeting and they see the product and they're like, well, damn, that's actually pretty good. I think I'd like to sign up for that. And I only had to pay $225 to acquire that customer. I'll do that all day long. So that's method number 2. And then method number 3 is called sell by chat. So one of the problems that can happen for smaller folks, when I say smaller, I mean like smaller team, is that taking a lot of meetings can be very, very time consuming, especially if not all of those meetings turn into sales, right? Like, anybody ever had that problem? All of us. So meetings, selling one-to-one through a meeting, through a Zoom call, while it can be very effective, it's not very scalable. Whereas, and some of you I'm sure on here have chatted with me. So sell by chat is really simple because it's super scalable, and it's I think it's asynchronous. In other words, you can reply and I can reply whenever we want. We don't need to find a common time to meet and sit. This works really well. Let me see if I have a slide that covers it. Yeah, so here's an example. And this is the tool. I'm actually using high level software for this. So I've got all these chats in here, and I've got templates for replies, and it's not automated. I still got to like click buttons and do stuff because the conversations go wherever they go. But it is a really effective way of having conversations. Now, this probably wouldn't work with cold prospects, but it works well if you have inbound leads, either that are just coming into your funnel, or maybe they're coming into a Facebook group, because obviously super easy to start a messenger chat with somebody who's on Facebook. So if you have either of those scenarios where you've got inbound leads, I would strongly encourage that you look at putting in place some sell by chat. And I've developed processes for this for ourselves, because this is, I think, a super great kind of hybrid approach between fully inbound marketing, where it's just all funnels and they never talk to anybody and they sign up, and then fully direct sales, where they got to talk to somebody before they sign up. This sort of sits in the middle because you can, facilitate that conversation. It's personalized, it's one-to-one, but you don't have to clog your calendar full of meetings to do this. You can do it from your phone. It's very, very convenient, and I've become a very big fan of sell by chat. So again, I like to ask for more feedback. Scale of 1 to 10. So far, good use of your time to be here today. 1 through 10. Take a moment and do that. I'll sip some water. Cool. Somebody got up at 3 a.m. Holy crap, man. Where are you from? I cannot believe you got up at 3 a.m. You know that I record these things, right? All right. So my question for you is, would you like some tools to make the job easier? Most people, I know you're going to say yes, because you guys showed me when you were in, what did we call it? The bottom right quadrant, the tool town, chaos town, or crazy town, whatever it was. Most of you were in crazy town. So step 6, the silver bullet on how to scale up to the 7-figure range, because you got to be at 7 figures before you can ever have any hope of getting to 8 figures. And 7 figures can be anywhere from 1 million to 9 million. 900, and you get the idea. There's a big range of 7 figures. So you can there's the options. There's the do-it-yourself option. So we've got some free tools. I'm actually my plan was to demonstrate the Flowster capture tool. I'll see if I can actually pull that off. So here was a dummy contact record, and so that'll pull up. Let's make sure that got pulled up. That's pulling up. And then I've got a blank template in Flow. So you're going to see me use a very quick demo here of the Flowster capture extension, how it works with Flowster and how it makes things super fast to do. So that is not a dummy contact record. So let me pull one. I don't know why that did that. So let me just see if I can. I'm going to do this on another screen because I don't like showing people's stuff on webinars, people's email addresses, unless it's mine. So give me a second here while I do this. I'll pull up my dummy record. test. Where are you, my friend? That's okay. We'll create a new one. Okay, so this will be perfect. So we are going to create a process for creating a new contact record. Just bear with me that we had this use case and we wanted a VA to create contact records. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to type in capture workflow, and I'm going to click in the first name, and then I'm going to click in the last name, and then I'm going to click in the email, and then we're going to say that I'm a lead and that our time zone was this. So, and then we'll click save. So we'll just assume that that was the process that we wanted to capture. So I click stop, and it'll open up in a new window. So if you just have Flowster Capture, which is completely free, that was quicker than making a Loom video. It was definitely quicker than doing it manually. And here is my process. It took screenshots of everything that I did. It highlighted where I clicked my mouse. And you could stop just there. You could not even use Flowster.app. You could just be like, hey man, I'm just going to share this with my VA. There's a lot more functionality in Flowster.app than just the free Chrome extension. And you can also do this with a free Flowster.app account. So let's say that you want to copy this into Flowster or Google Docs or Asana or ClickUp or wherever the hell you want to copy it. You copy those clicks to the clipboard. Then I go over here, and there's no like special place to put your mouse. You literally just put your mouse anywhere on my keyboard. I hit paste. And you can see that basically it just copied everything that you just saw. So there's that screenshot. It's highlighted where I clicked my mouse. It showed what I typed. And now it's all in Flowster, and now I could run a workflow, and I could assign it to somebody on my team. I could give it a name, I could give it a due date, and I can create the workflow, and voila, in this case, Kane would be assigned this particular process. And then in Flowster, if this is a recurring process, I can turn it into a recurring process so that it happens every day, every week, every quarter, every month, whatever it is that you would like. Who thought that was way better than Loom? Could you put it in chat? If you do. And if you don't, put that in chat. Oh yeah, Swift, amazing. So all of this stuff is free, guys. Everything I'm showing you is free. So I know you can all afford it. So you're all going to be Capture users at the end of this. All right, so now let me turn this thing back on. All right. So if you wanted to see the demo, if you need to share it with somebody on your team, you can literally see like a 3-minute demo where I make a process for a full Facebook advertising campaign. And it's right on our homepage. You click 3-minute demo and you can watch that video. I mentioned this earlier. So if you don't want to create your processes from scratch, we have hundreds. We have this massive library of all of these free templates in Flowster. And there's a few from third-party sellers that aren't free because it's kind of like Amazon. You know, any one of you could create content and put it up for sale in here. So you could make money from Flowster. And you can just basically say, hey, oh, this one sounds cool. Get it free. Add it to your account. They're all fully customizable in whatever way you would like. And there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. And we're adding more all the time because we're trying to make it easy for small businesses to scale. And we know that the only way you're going to be able to do that is SDA systems, which is what you're looking at on the screen, to enable you to delegate so that you can then automate and manage by KPI. That's the path. But it all starts with that foundation of you've got to have the systems. So you can't do this with your current tool. If you're using Google Docs, which some people do, there's no process templates, there's no Chrome extension, there's no task management functionality, like there's nothing. If you're using ClickUp, which I use for project management, or Asana or Teamwork or whatever, they're all great project management tools, but they weren't built for process management. They don't have all the process templates. They don't have the ability to update the template and update all the related workflows. They don't have a Chrome extension. They don't have any of that stuff. Process Street and Trainual are process management apps, but they don't have our library of digital marketing specific templates, and they don't have Chrome extensions to allow you to very quickly make your own custom stuff. So if you want to create your own templates from scratch, in whatever place you would like, that's going to take you a whole lot of time. And I know that nobody wants to do that. And then also, none of these companies or these apps have a third-party marketplace that I'm aware of that allow you to literally make your own content available for sale to other people. And that's actually how Flowster got started, was a whole bunch of people wanted to buy one of my playbooks. So is Flowster right for you? Well, I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But if you have these three problems, it probably is. If you have a prospecting problem, you need a steady flow of people that you can talk to about your services, and manual prospecting is time consuming, boring, and difficult. We have a new tool I mentioned to you earlier. We're white labeling that LinkedIn automation tool. We're calling it Flowster Automate. It is available now as a standalone tool. You could sign up for just that and nothing else. If you do, just message me and I'll get you hooked up on it. And it's $79 a month. Now, I happen to think for the amount of conversations that are started for me by that tool every single month, like that thing is a no-brainer. Second problem is you have a team building problem. So if I'm to spend more time working on the things that generate the most money, what I call your zone of genius, in my case, it was just pitch and close, then in order to be able to do that, you need to stop doing the things that should be done by an employee. Updating contact records, doing research, the first step of prospecting, like there's just this endless list of stuff, which means that you have to find, hire, train employees. And you might perceive that to be time consuming, difficult, and potentially risky if they don't work out. So if that's a problem you feel you have, Flowster will absolutely help you solve that problem. And then the last problem is systems. In order to delegate work to these people that I'm going to hire, I need a way to document my processes, which I just showed you a second ago, so that training them will be easy. Like a perfect example of this in my LinkedIn automation, that app integrates with Pipedrive. So every time someone accepts my connection request, they go into the first column of my sales pipeline called Connect Accepted. I then, for the first 2 or 3 days, was manually reviewing each one of them to verify that they were qualified, that I should maybe reach out to them and say, hey, I'll give you the gift card if you'll meet with me, blah, blah, blah. And after doing that for 3 days, I was like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. This step I should document so that my assistant can do this. So I whipped up Capture. I made a process document in like 10 minutes and I gave it to her. And guess what? Now I don't have to do that. I don't have to do the filtering anymore. Now she puts them in the next column that says approved. And then I just send them the email because I put a little custom stuff in the email and what have you. So those are the three. If you have those problems, Flowster is absolutely for you. So what if I told you that there was a basic set of systems that would solve these three major problems? And we could develop these custom systems for you in under 60 days. So when I say a basic set of systems, I'm talking about your first 20 standard operating procedures that you need to address the areas of your business that are going to drive growth, if that's your challenge. Or maybe you've got growth handled, but fulfillment is killing you. So your key systems would be in fulfillment or whatever department it is. But that we could develop these systems for you and we could get it done in 60 days. Would that be valuable? Yes or yes in chat. I know it's yes, because before I ever did this webinar, I manually talked to 50 of our customers to find out if this was legit. And they were all like, yes, 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 yes. So would that get your attention? Yes, obviously it would. So now let's look at done for you. I showed you how to do it yourself. Now I want to show you how we can do it for you. We have just launched this thing called Unlimited, and it is in beta, and this is the URL. And it basically, so there'll be the replay will show up here, and then you can click that. So anyway, you can go to this if you want to sign up for it. Let me explain what it is. And you'll need a promo code because normally this is $1,000 a month, and we're going to give you guys 50% off. And there is a lot of value packed into this. So let's look at what all that value is. Here's what you get for $4.99 a month, and you can downgrade anytime you want. You might only use the $4.99 a month for just a couple months. Bear with me, you'll understand what this is. First of all, you're going to be on our Flowster Enterprise plan, which is the Cadillac plan. It gives you access to all of our premium playbooks, which you would have to pay thousands of dollars to get otherwise. That is normally, if you just went and signed up for Flowster's Enterprise, it's $249 a month. The LinkedIn automation tool that I said that I'm having all this success with, that we are going to white label as the Flowster Automate tool. That has a value of $99 a month. Then there is an unlimited amount. Maybe some of you have heard of Design Pickle. They've been around for years. They're like, hey, we'll make an unlimited number of graphic design for you, custom for $4.99 a month. I literally just ripped off their idea because I thought, hey, I know that if more of our users get more custom SOPs that are specific to their business in their Flowster account, they'll stay a customer longer, which is good for them and good for us. So how can I take that pain away? So we decided we would do what Design Pickle did. We are offering unlimited done for you SOP creation, which normally has a value as a standalone product. If you want to get that as a standalone product, just message me and we'll sign you up. It's $299 a month, but that's included in this. And then if for those of you who don't have a VA yet and haven't hired one and you just want to be able to start delegating work like tomorrow, this is how we help you do this. You could send us a Loom video. We'll turn it into a Flowster SOP, or maybe ideally you make it with Capture and then we'll clean it up for you with put it in Flowster. It will also then give you 32 hours per month of VA labor from our VA pool, because we have a pool of VAs that do work for us. You can get that as a standalone product if you want for $349 a month. So all of this stuff all added up together is about 12 grand a year if you bought it all individually. However, Flowster Unlimited is a bundle and you get it for half of that price. So if you decide like, hey, this is for me, this promo code 50 off, if you use it on this page before July 28th at 9 p.m. Eastern time, you will be able to get Flowster Unlimited for $4.99 a month. You will get access to all of the premium playbooks, and there's about $9,000 worth of them because you'll be on the premium plan. And I'll play this testimonial in a minute. Actually, no, here, I'll just play it now in case you'd like to, this is like a 1 minute long video. Hold on. I gotta make sure the sound is, you guys can hear the sound, so bear with me. Share computer sound. There we go.
If you value your time and if you believe that as a business owner, your time is better spent to work on the business, not in the business, then Flowster is the right place for you.
But once I got into Flowster, I realized it made my business better.
We use Flowster in that business for all of our billing processes. Really love it for that.
Sort of Flowster looking at what are the tasks that have to get done.
Allowed them to increase their revenue, the size of their company, it gave them life. And that's what I'm looking for.
One thing that I'm already tremendously benefiting from is having the ability to organize our processes.
So my favorite part about Flowster is the workflows. Once they're created, they look and they flow. Flowster, right? They flow very, very well. They're very clean.
If you're thinking about a process management system, Flowster is one of those softwares or systems that...
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. You guys get the idea. There's lots of people saying lots of nice things about Flowster because it's a really great product. So again, why would you sign up for Unlimited? Because you have a prospecting problem, you have a team building problem, you don't have people, and you have a systems problem. You don't have systems that you need to be able to delegate the work to those people and have it actually get done the way you want it. Our goal with this is to help you get your first 15 to 20 SOPs as fast as possible. And trust me, we can build them faster than you can. If you can record a Loom video or send us a Google Doc or whatever, or heaven forbid, use Capture, we can build them faster than you can. We have a team who this is what they do. That will enable you to start to scale your business, or maybe just work less than 60 hours per week by delegating more work to your team. And you will literally be delegating work in a couple of days from now, as long as it takes us to build your first SOP and then assign you a VA to do the work. And if you've never delegated work before, and I'll just tell you, because I'm a massive delegator, I'm a delegateaholic, it's like magic. When you like, oh, I gotta do this and I gotta do this and all this stuff I gotta do today, and I'm working until 9 o'clock, and suddenly you don't have to do all of that stuff anymore. It is a feeling like when you get that feeling, work getting done for you, if you've never done that before. I don't know what crack cocaine is like, but I gotta imagine it's pretty goddamn similar to crack cocaine, because, or whatever metaphor you would like to use, because you're gonna go, holy cow, that was awesome. Work got done and I didn't have to do it. So here's a question for you. What would you like to delegate first? If you signed up for this, what would be the very first thing that you're like, I just don't want to do that thing anymore? What is that thing? Expense tracking, totally doable. Outbound prospecting, totally doable. As I mentioned, you can automate that, and then you can literally do exactly what I'm doing, and because it's working like crazy. Not being in corporate anymore. I am having DTs. I don't know what a DT is. Something DT. I don't know what that is. So that's it? Nobody's going to put anything else in chat? You can't think of one thing you would like to delegate? Really? What about managing your inbox? What about rescheduling appointments? What about looking up contact information? What about market research? What about restocking your Amazon account? Please share a link to the masterclass. Many of us missed it. Oh, so Joseph, to get the free masterclass, you just need to chat with me and DM Trent. There you go. Okay. How would that feel to not have to do that thing you just put in chat? If you would like to say how that felt, go ahead and put that in chat. I can tell you from firsthand experience, it's pretty freaking awesome when you're not the one doing absolutely everything. So now I have an FAQ for you. First one, do I have to pay $499 forever? No, definitely not. I encourage that you kind of use and abuse us and load up on SOPs. Now on the sales page, there's an FAQ, and it shows how fast the SOPs get built. Basically, it's just like Design Pickle. You cannot, the one thing I want you to be aware of, you cannot send us, hey Trent, here's 100 SOPs, I want them all built by tomorrow. That's not going to happen. It's not the way it works. You can have 100 built, but you get them built one at a time. The first one, and then it's done, and you can do the second one, just like Design Pickle. And once the second one's done, you can submit the third one. Once the third one's done, you can submit the fourth one, and you can just keep on trucking. So if you're really on it, you're going to get, this is a screamingly good deal for you. We'll end up losing some money, but that's okay, because I know that if you have that many SOPs in your Flowster account, you're probably not going anywhere. You're probably going to pay me to use Flowster for years. So I'm okay losing a little bit of money up front. So you don't have to load it. You don't have to pay $499 forever. Load up on SOPs. Get those first 15 or 20. And then maybe you're like, you know what? This is awesome. I'm good. I don't need this unlimited SOP stuff. I'm ready to now hire my own VA. Great. Downgrade to a software subscription. And they started as low as $11-ish a month. We're running a pricing experiment on our startup plan. So depending, you might see like anywhere from, I think, 11 to 14 bucks a user, something like that. But it's really, really inexpensive. So as I've written here, we encourage you to take advantage of this unlimited offer so that you can accelerate the pace that you are systematizing your business And then when you feel like you've got enough core SOPs, and now you got a VA, and maybe your VA can start making SOPs for you, or you've gotten the groove of using Capture yourself, then downgrade. Don't keep paying $4.99. Downgrade to $11 a month. We don't care. So what SOPs should you build first? Processes that drive revenue, so around the areas of prospecting and sales. Processes that help prevent fires, client onboarding, deliverables, project management, etc. Processes around client fulfillment. Those are typically the areas where you really want to get processes quickly. So what are the downgrade options? You, as I mentioned on the 2 slides ago, you can just retain the basic Flowster process app for, it's about $20 a month. If you prefer, or you can retain the Flowster Automate, the LinkedIn automation functionality for $79 a month. And then at any point in time, you can purchase additional blocks of unlimited SOP creation on a month-by-month basis for $2.99 if you want to continue. So like say you're at $4.99 and then you've downgraded and you realize, oh, I want Flowster to make me some more SOPs. You can literally just buy a block for a month for $2.99. And then you can purchase additional blocks of VA labor starting at $199 per month. And that would give you 16 hours of VA labor. So we've tried to give you like as much flexibility in this program as we can. So the only thing that you need to do is make the decision that you want to start accelerating and scaling your business and building a team and take advantage of this offer. So what does unlimited SOP creation mean? I already explained that one at a time. What does Flowster Automate? I explained a number of times. That's the software that will automate your prospecting on LinkedIn. How many tasks can my VA do for me in an 8 hours a week? For most people, 8 hours of VA labor is probably 20, 30 tasks. If there's more shorter tasks, then it would be more. If they're longer tasks, then less. But that's going to produce a significant increase in your productivity. If you could save 8 hours of your time, that's an extra day per week for you to work on doing the things that are in your genius zone, doing the things that are going to make you the most money. VAs are really great for research, building lists, managing social media, managing Facebook groups, managing new group member applications, rescheduling meetings, archiving junk mail. I mean, my gosh, I use VAs for so much stuff. It's crazy. So if you haven't tapped in to having a VA yet, I'm just going to say you're nuts. Like, you're going to get really, really great help at a very affordable price. So here is the offer again. You get all the things you see on the screen. You just need to go to that link and put in that promo code. I think they'll ask questions. If you have any questions for me, pre-purchase, pre-sales questions, whatever, just go to flowster.app/DM Trent and we can chat on the chatty chats. I can see that my watch has been blowing up. There's a bunch of you that chatted me. And if you're ready to unlock the growth of your business, if you're ready to stop being a solo, if you're ready to build to lay the foundation to build a company that one day you could manage by looking at your KPI dashboard instead of being the one doing everything, I think this is probably the best offer on the entire internet to help you get there. Because it's not about a hack or a shortcut or the latest algorithm loophole or whatever a lot of the other gurus like to sell you, because man, do they like to do that. It's not about that stuff, because that stuff's not sustainable. What is sustainable is building systems that cause repetitive processes to either be done by other human beings and or some combination of automation. That is how you build a 7 to 8 figure business. You do not build it on the back of hacks, loopholes, and shortcuts. All of those things are temporary. When I first started on the internet years ago, that's what I used to be focused on. And I built this really cool business where I was doing all these micro niche websites and I was making all this affiliate commissions from Amazon, and I had VAs building all my sites for me. And then guess what happened? Google updated the Penguin and Panda algorithm updates. I was out of business in about 36 hours. Done. Because I was shortcutting. I was taking it because I didn't know any better. I was taking advantage of hacks and loopholes that the gurus told me about. And like every other new person out there, I foolishly gave those morons my money. This is not for those people. This is for the people who realize that building a business takes time and that it requires effort, but you don't want to be the one doing all the work yourself. You don't want to be the bottleneck of your own business, and you know that having a team and having systems is the way to help you get out of that. All right, let me hop over here to Chatskis and see if there's anything there that I have not dealt with yet. So answered that. Somebody asked, how do I get the free course? Just chat me on Messenger and I'll get you a link. Joseph, I already dealt with your question, so let's look at chat. Oh, DTs are withdrawal. Anne says DTs are withdrawal from being able to delegate to someone. Yeah, I would be, I'd have withdrawals too. Can you explain how do we get from messaging with you to your system? So messaging with me is just a way of asking me any pre-sales questions that you have. And then if depending on what it is you want to buy, I'll give you the link and then you can click the link and buy whatever it is you would like to buy. Sean, be like a breath of fresh air. So here's one. Does this only work for tasks that can be done online? What about paper receipts or other physical items that have to be dealt with? No, you can build processes for anything. So obviously, if you're dealing with physical paper receipts, then it's harder to have a virtual assistant do it. It's not impossible because you could scan that paper. Those paper items could be put on Drive, and then whatever you need done to them, because now they're electronic, could be done by a virtual assistant. But if you need people to write, even if you needed them to write stuff on them, I guess, I mean, a virtual assistant could print it out on their end. They could write stuff on it if they needed to write stuff on it. So if you could help me be more specific with your question, I can give you a more specific answer. Who here signed up? I saw one person, only one person put in chat sold. So nobody else thinks this is worth signing up for. That would be a surprise to me. And if I am by Friday, cool. And if you don't think this is a good deal, tell me why. Because notice how it says beta up there. So I did a bunch of sell by chat. I talked to a whole bunch of my users, and a pretty decent number of them signed up because they had the interaction with me. They got all their questions answered, and we developed all of our FAQ and everything from talking to all of those people. So there's still 20-ish of you here. So here's a great objection from somebody. I don't think I know what to do with it just yet. I'm happy that you put that in chat, because I promise you, if you are full-time in your business, there are a ton of things that you would use this for. So the person who wrote that comment, tell me, what business are you in? We'll do a little consulting right here. Are you an agency? If not an agency, what's your business? Real estate investing. Oh my gosh, perfect. So real estate investing means that you're constantly scouring the market for deals, right? Maybe you're looking on the MLS, maybe you're looking for sale by owners, maybe you are running a funnel some kind. How do you get your leads? Direct mail. All right. So break down the process of sending that direct mail. You need to build a list, and then maybe you're doing some merge fields. Maybe you're doing postcards. I used to do this stuff, so that's why I understand how this works. And then you're, sending the stuff out. Break that process down into the steps. And, if most of it's done on a computer, you could use Loom to send us a video of whatever you want us to Flowsterize, and then figure out what portion of that process do you not actually have to do. In my case, when I did it, I had title companies giving me the lists. Then I hired someone local to handwrite all my postcards for me. and then she would deliver them and mail them. So I didn't really have to do anything. And then I would just deal with the calls that came in. Now, these days, because that was back in 2009, like literally the world's worst time to be trying to buy houses because nobody wanted to sell them because the prices had just crashed. But these days now on those postcards, I might have a landing page. I might have a lead magnet. I would be trying to get their email address and putting them in a funnel. There's so much stuff that could be done by virtual assistants in that. Okay. Before we wrap, and again, you can ask me questions after the fact in the Facebook messengers. But before we wrap up today, so now that we're done, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you could let me know how valuable this was, that'd be great. And if you're putting a 10 in there and you didn't sign up for Unlimited, either in chat or just over Messenger, like, tell me the one thing that what was the thing that prevented you from saying, I should buy this, I'm going to buy this? What was that objection? I'll see if anyone is willing to share it now. I don't understand what it does. Okay. Were you late to the webinar? Cost. So let's deal with the Sean, cost, money tied up in other software. So Sean, this is probably one that applies to many people. If I was willing to sell you $2 bills, now let me give a different example. If I was willing to, if my offer was this, the price was $50,000, but starting tomorrow, the day after you spent $50,000, you were going to be making $2,000 a day in profit, and you didn't have to do anything. Would you buy it? And I'm asking Sean, and I'm asking everybody else, would you buy that? 100% guaranteed you would get that outcome. You don't have to do any work, and the money starts tomorrow. $2,000 a day in profit, and all you got to do is buy it for 50 grand. In other words, you have all of your money back in 25 days, and every day after that, you're making $2,000 a day. Yeah. So it's not, I can't afford it. It's, I don't see the value in it. And that's what I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand why you don't see the value in this. Because again, this is in beta. We haven't got all this stuff figured out yet. This is why I pre-sold this by chatting to people individually before I ever even did it on a webinar. In some way, shape, or form, I have failed to convey the value, or maybe you weren't really paying attention. You were multitasking, or you were watching YouTube videos at some point during the webinar. I'm not sure. I'm only left to guess, of course. But what I don't understand is, as entrepreneurs, we all know that we can't do everything ourselves. At least I think we all know that. And we all know that the key to making more money is to have more appointments. And the key to getting more appointments in the near term is to do more prospecting. And I've shown you a method to completely automate that prospecting. Like, this is where I'm and maybe you have that problem licked in your business already. So if that's the case, then I would get why maybe it's not landing for you, at least the prospecting portion of it. But what about all the other stuff of creating the SOPs? Like, we talked earlier at length today about how the reason that most small businesses remain small is because of the way that their owners think. I had a lunch meeting yesterday with somebody, a husband and wife, some other entrepreneurs, they're local, they were asking for advice. And in her case, she just couldn't bear the idea of delegating any work to anyone. She was 100% convinced that they would screw it up, that they would never do it as good as she would. Guess how successful her business is? It isn't. They just went broke which is why they've been referred to us, which is why they reached out. Because she was a control freak. In business, you can have growth or you can have control, but you cannot have both. Because to have growth means that you can't do everything yourself. You must delegate. And speaking from extensive experience, if you try to delegate without documentation, odds are pretty high you're going to fail. It's not going to go nearly as well as you would like. It's definitely not going to go anywhere nearly as well as it would be if you had documentation. Because when you have documentation, which is what Flowster Unlimited creates for you, we'll make your documentation for you. You just have to send us some raw content. Now you're in a position where you can literally just plug a VA into the software, which we'll supply you with. We'll give you the VA and we'll create the process for you, and voila, that thing that you used to have to always do yourself, now you don't have to do anymore ever. And that saves time. Time that you can then use to invest in higher value activities, like in my first agency, pitch and close, pitch and close. I didn't do anything else. And that's why we grew fast enough to be ranked number 254 on the Inc. 5000 list. Our 3-year growth rate was 1,800%. So Charles, I'm still trying to find my daily tasks that actually generate leads and sales. I see the value, but I need to have a process to feed it first. The more your business can run without you, the more money the business will be worth as well. Yes, I agree. And will you help to develop the KPIs? That would be consulting, Anne, and this is not consulting. This is done for you process creation. I do consulting on occasion, but I make the price so high that almost everybody that asks me says no. It's $2,000 an hour. If you want to hire me, by all means you can, but I'm willing to bet you're going to say no, and that's because I don't really want to do consulting. I've been trying to pay by accomplishment instead of time. I'm able to do that in one SEOR, but the more administrative stuff, it seems harder. Yeah, we pay by time. It's been doing it for 10 years, works just fine for us. So I don't have any great insights without, having a more detailed one-on-one chat with you. I don't have any great insights there. So we're going to wrap up for today. I want to thank you all very much for being here. It has been my pleasure to host you on this webinar. We're going to be having another webinar on a different topic in about 2 weeks' time. So we'll look forward to seeing you then. So we will stop share and stop record and call it a day.